Humanity has reached many different achievements. We have conquered electricity, made powerful engines that drive beasts, and even created destruction and the personification of death. Even though we progressed from the power of fire and the torch to steam engines and nuclear power into the modern time, nature is still a notch above us. The sun has so much power, it would take up to 100 billion 1 megaton bombs ignited at the same time to match it. Many of Earth's inhabitants are created to use this force. We all probably think of the plants using the sun to feed and grow, but we humans are dependent on the 4.6 billion year old star as well. The sun has many benefits for our human body. It not only raises testosterone or raises your mood, but it is also crucial for a healthy circadian rhythm. To understand how important the sunlight is for our sleep, we first have to clarify what the circadian rhythm is. To keep it simple, we have a kind of inner biological clock inside of us. This mechanism, for example, manages the outburst of many different chemicals and substances that raises awareness or keep our organs going properly. Every single cell in our body needs to know what time it approximately is. This inner process does function without sunlight, so your body roughly knows when 24 hours have passed. But it may cause side effects I will explain later. You have to imagine that you set your clock every morning so your body does not get confused or even ill. The main way of doing this is with sunlight viewing. Whenever we wake up, our first instinct should be to move outside and watch natural, bright light. This procedure should also be followed by people who are blind. When the photons of sun rays hit our retina in the early morning, neurons located at the very end of our eye give out a signal to your brain. This first signal in the morning activates a kind of cortisol discharge. This will not only lead to a dopamine release that will make us feel motivated and awake, but it will also start a kind of timer that will slowly release melatonin and make us feel sleepy at night. Every time you want to feel awake, you should crank up the lights or ideally go outside. There's a circadian dead zone, however. It's around 9, 10 or 11 am, depending on when you woke up. In this period, it does not matter how much sunlight you watch, you won't feel any more awake because there will not be any cortisol release. Note that to really set up your circadian rhythm, it requires very bright light, ideally blue light, which means, if possible, don't use any blue blockers in the morning. Just watching through a closed window won't cut it either, because the window filters a lot of the light. The most efficient way is to just go outside and watch the sunrise. Be careful, however. Don't look exactly into the sun and blink if needed. Just in the general direction of it will be enough. So, you woke up, you went outside. How long should you watch the sun? It really depends on where you live and what weather conditions there are. If the sky is completely clear, you should at least be outside for about 5 minutes. If it is a little bit cloudy, the time goes up to about 10 minutes. And if it is very cloudy and dark or even a little bit rainy, you should be watching the sun for 20 to 30 minutes if possible. What about the ones that wake up before sunrise or work in night shifts? Don't worry, I will talk about you too. When the sun goes down during the late afternoon or early evening, You should, if possible, watch that as well to really complete the cycle. It will tell your body that it is now nighttime and you will feel a lot more sleepy. It's the early evening now, maybe 8 p.m. or so, and you want to watch your favorite show. You sit down on your couch, you watch it for 2 hours, you eat some chips, and then you want to go to sleep. You brush your teeth and lay down. It's completely dark outside, but you can't sleep. You feel wide awake. That's because most people use artificial lights after the sun has already set. This greatly confuses the circadian rhythm. You see, the cruel thing about waking up is that you need a lot of light intake in the morning to really feel awake, but only a fraction of that is needed during the nighttime. During the time before bed, and I don't mean 20 minutes before it, but like a few hours before that, you should avoid any kind of bright light, not only blue light. The perfect scenario would be to turn down any artificial lights as low as possible so you can take care of your tasks, but not wake yourself up. It would be even better if you can use lights that shine from down below you, not from above. That's because the biggest amount of receptors that absorb the photons of light are at the lower third of your eye. Lights that are on your waistline or below that are less likely to disturb your cycle. You may be thinking though, why should I even do that? I'm a night owl, I love being up late, or it's so cold to go outside. Well, first, the benefits. I already told them to you, but I repeat it once more. The sun raises testosterone, makes us feel awake, raises our alertness and our motivation, and therefore probably our productivity. Just by watching light for 10 minutes, you will feel much happier and are ready to start throughout the day head on. It's completely free and worth it. For people who say they don't have time to do that, you have. Just watch how much time you spend on your phone, maybe watching this exact video right here. Now to the things that are not so great for your body. If you watch bright lights during the evening, and especially during the time of 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., the cortisol that is being released is being classified by your body like depression would be. So you will feel more depressed and more sluggish the longer you disregard the facts I've given to you. Now to get to the people who are maybe up before the sun rises or who work in night shifts. For the ones waking up so early that it is still dark outside. You want to use as much artificial light as possible if you want to be awake. Maybe turn off your blue blockers on the phone, crank up the overhead lights and do your morning routine. But the moment the sun rises, immediately go outside, because only using artificial lights won't be enough to activate the cycle. For you out there who have to work in a shift system, I found this information. You people out there probably sleep during the noon period. When you wake up, the sun is setting or is about to set. Go outside as soon as possible and watch the setting sun. Then go to your work. You will probably have artificial lights there, but during the end of your shift, when the sun rises again, go home safely, but after that, try to avoid any further light from the morning sun and go to sleep as soon as possible. The way our circadian rhythm works is fascinating and everyone should know it. Light is a factor we avoid very often. We hear of things like exercise will warm up your body and you will feel more awake, or if you eat carbs you will feel sleepy. Which is all true, by the way. Even social interactions will start up your circadian rhythm. If you talk to your mother every morning, for example, you will automatically wake up during this time because your body will expect it to happen. But nothing will be more effective and important than the source that is free to us all, but we all neglect it, and that's light itself. Consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. And until then, stay sexy, my friends.